Good afternoon, I'm Neil Coles of Coles Sewing Centre, Nottingham, England, and today I'm going to take you through a basic tune-up of your sewing machine. The sewing machine in question is a Husky Star E20, which has a shuttle stitch forming system that has been around for around about 100 years. So we'll just bring the camera in and just have a look at the shuttle system on this machine. And then next to it, I have a 30-year-old-ish new home machine, and you'll notice the shuttle system, or the stitch forming system, is exactly the same on both machines. So the chances are you might well have a machine with this system in it. Okay, so now we'll take you through a basic tune-up. First of all, safety first. So I'm going to remove the power lead, remove the thread, remove the bobbin case, and remove the needle. Remove the presser foot, and we're ready to take off the needle plate now. So if we look at the needle plate, we have a special tool, screwdriver tool, for removing this, and just see it's got a large blade on this end and a small blade on this end. The small blade is for popping out this little cover here, which gains access to where the bulb is. So we've removed this screw and take the cover off. It gets a little bit easier to get into the needle plate, and we can then clean and oil this area if needs be. Okay, the screw removed, put it away safely, and then the cover will just, with a little bit of persuasion, come away. And then you can see into the side there of the machine. The bulb on these is actually now an LED, not a large bulb, but on your machines you may find there's a bulb housing in here, screwed into this block here, where you'll find either a bayonet cap bulb or an Edison screw bulb if it needs changing. Okay, now to remove the needle plate. So with a flatter, wider part of the blade, just slot it into the screw head, take the screw off, and then you can use your finger to bring it up the rest of the way. Set it aside, and then the rear screw. And the plate will just lift off, complete sew. And then we're going to go and take into the shuttle area itself. Now, the easiest way to deal with this is to lay the machine on its back, because then we're not fighting gravity. So now I'm standing above the machine, and then you'll notice two clips. So these clips need to move to the left and to the right. We can then completely take out the whole shuttle mechanism. So there's three components: the driver, I'll turn the hand wheel now, you'll see that moving. Then we have the shuttle, which is what actually collects the upper thread to form the stitch, and the cover. Okay, so these are all stitch forming parts, and we need to make sure that they're clean and free from any damage, because any damage to any of those parts will give you inferior stitch quality, or maybe cause snapping of threads or shredding of threads. Okay, so we'll look a little bit more detail now. So first of all, the shuttle itself, and what we're looking for is any damage along this rim here. So let me just point it out with this nail file. Any damage along this rim here, any damage on the top, or any damage on the side, or any damage on the back. So if you find a little bit of damage, we just need our faithful emery board and just give it a clean to remove that damage. And when that's all nice and smooth, a great test is your fingernail, because if there's any damage there, the nail will fall straight into it. And once you're happy it's clean, check this little spindle here to make sure there's no thread got wrapped around it, and with your old needle, you can just lift it out if there is any there. Just put it underneath and pop it out. And just check along this ridge here, there's no debris or muck stuck in it. using the end of the needle. Okay, we then have the cover. Now this cover, you may find if a needle's hit it at some point, it's a little bit bent, or there may be damage across it. So again, it's just a question of fetching it off with our emery board until we've got it clean. Checking inside here with our needle. If you find any debris in this area, just pick it out, and in the ring area here. And then finally, just rub your finger around the inner edge, your fingernail, and just ensure there's no little nicks or burrs along there. Okay, so we can put those two back in now. Now, if you just think these are as 2 half moons, I've set the shuttle driver to the lowest position, so the needle bar is out the way. All I'm going to do is hold this spindle, and with my point to the right, I'll drop it back into place. Okay, so that's now gone back in. Take the cover, it's got a little locating lug at the bottom, goes into a cutaway, and we just introduce those two together. Once that's in, just bring the 2 clips back into place. Okay, that's that done. Having looked now at the bobbin case for any problems with that, just again check the surface area. If you find that a needle has hit it at some point, you just need to clean that off. Check inside, and what we're looking for again with our needle friend is any debris in here. Obviously, if there's any debris stuck inside there, it will slow down the speed of the bobbin, and that will affect the tension, giving you a tighter tension on the bottom, so you may find the threads pulling from the top downwards. So that's all clean. Another little thing to do with this, you may get thread actually underneath this spring, which gives the bobbin tension. So just take your needle underneath it and just wipe it from side to side, and just remove anything that might be in there. Once that's done, we take our bobbin. Now these thread like a letter P, so I'm just going to put this on the table. And if you look at how I've got the bobbin case, I've got the finger to the left, or to the 9 o'clock position, and my thread is coming off as a letter B, a small letter B. So the tail is on the left. You can thread it the other way round, but during the sewing process, the thread can work its way out from under the spring, and then you'll get a loopy thread tension. So bobbin into the case, put my finger on it to prevent it from spinning too much, and then I just go into the cutaway, back on itself and under that spring. Now once under that spring, it should just fall on its own weight to get the correct tension as a rough guide. If I even after cleaning the spring it falls away too quickly, it means that this little screw here needs adjusting. Now you see there, this particular one, we could say that if it was a clock face, the hands are at 6 o'clock. So if it's falling away, you would need to tighten the screw the tiniest amount. So I would say you go from 6 o'clock to no further than 7:05. If it's not falling away and it's not yo-yoing like this one is, it's too tight, then you would need to bring the screw maybe to 5:05. It's a very, very small adjustment, bearing in mind that this screw only has about 1.5 threads on it. So if you turn it too much and it falls out of the bobbin case, you may never see the screw again. So please be careful. And if it is falling away, just double check there's no debris under that spring. Remember here, before you even touch the screw. Okay, so that's that all checked over. We'll come back to that presently. Okay, I'm going to put the machine the correct way up again now, because we're going to look at the plate and put that back in. So this is the needle plate, and we are looking for any damage to the needle area. So this is where the needle goes in. If you find you've got little cuts at the front, that could cause stitch inefficiency. So it'd be a question of just maybe breaking your emery board in half and just pushing it through the hole just to clean it up if it needs cleaning up. Okay, so just make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure as well that the plate sits upside down, flat on a surface. If it's wobbling a little bit, it means this has got bent, this inner part. So we just need to take the end of a toffee hammer, etc., and just give it a tap. Okay. you will just make sure that any debris was removed from around this feed area as well before we put the plate on. So something like a dust brush, or if you've got one, you can take a cleaner compressor there, just give it a blow out the whole area out. And then we're going to put the plate on, and we're just going to give it a little bit of oil. So the plate back in place. Just tighten the screws down, but don't over tighten them because you want to be able to get them off another day. Okay, so that's all back together now. We would then, in a moment, put in a new needle, but we're going to give the machine a little bit of oil. Now, the thing about oil, it doesn't matter what brand it is. Mr. Singer does a very nice one, has done for years, but as long as it's a good sewing machine oil, 3-in-1 oil is a little bit thick and waxy. So we're looking for fine sewing machine oil. Okay, so having a look at, as I turn the machine, you'll see, first of all, the upper area. We've got moving parts. So you've got rotational parts moving and bars moving. What we're looking for is a drop. So if you've got a can like this, don't cut the top off. Take a needle and just press it through the hole. Press it through to make a hole, otherwise the oil will come out too quick. And we're just looking to put a drop on each of these moving parts. So just a drop, that's all we need. And a drop on the bar from the bottom. And then finally, just a drop into the shuttle area. We're just down into there. And if you can see it, there's a little roller on some machines about here. That just needs a drop as well. The thing about oil and sewing is not too much. So little and often, because the oil, excess oil will attract lint, the lint will stick to the oil and it will form a sort of a pad that can affect the efficiency and the use of the machine. Okay, so we then put in a new needle. Depending on the model, most of them will have the flat side facing to the back, and ensure when you put it in, you push it all the way up the clamp till it stops. So you should actually feel a stop. So once you've hit that stop, tighten up the screw. The presser foot can then go back on. The bobbin case in. So if you're a little bit unfamiliar with this, the bobbin case has a finger on it, and the finger goes into this little cutaway at the top. If I open this latch as I hold the bobbin, it will stop the bobbin from spilling out. So we just hold the latch open and push it home and ensure that that little finger clicks into that cutaway there. And that's all ready. So finally, we'll just replace our cover. Not forgetting the little cover for the screw. And your machine's ready to go. So that will hopefully keep you going during the lockdown period. But don't forget, your sewing machine is a precise mechanical piece of equipment and will need professional attention for a service every 1 to 2 years, depending on usage. Thank you for watching the video.